This is Dr. Derek here with another exercise to keep your body tapped in, tuned up, and turned on. And today we're going to focus on the wrists. And I know a lot of people out there are either writing, they're reading, they're on their phones a lot, or they're even typing at their desk, and it can really put a big strain on your wrists. So the exercise today is focused on not only building stability in your wrists, but also getting some more range of motion out of those. So we're going to go ahead and follow me down to your hands and knees, and I'm going to go ahead and start, damn it. I thought in my head, don't go to the right, and then halfway through I froze. This is Dr. Derek here with another exercise to keep your body tapped in, tuned up, and turned on. And today we're going to be focusing on the wrists, these guys. And I know a lot of you are out there and you write a lot, or you're on your phones a lot, typing at your desk, or even reading, and all of these can put a lot of strain and pressure on your wrist. Carpal tunnel has huge amounts of prevalence in our population, and the exercise today is going to focus on not only increasing range of motion, but also building stability in your wrist to help prevent injuries, repetitive use injuries, or any type of long-term issues. So if you follow me to the ground, we're going to get on our hands and knees, and we're going to start knees about hip width distance, just under the hip joints, hands about shoulder width apart, again facing forward. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start to bring our body forward over our wrist just until it feels the stretch. A lot of people may not be able to go as far as I go because I've been practicing for quite a bit of years on this, but just to that stretching point. And then we're going to rock back and forth a few times, maybe 2 to 3. If you're in your practice at home and not following along, I do these up to 10 repetitions in each position. And once we're done with that, we're going to bring our fingers facing backwards. And again, we're going to drop back our butt to our heels, really feeling the stretch. And now this is really important. We want to make sure that we're feeling stretch, not pain, because pain is bad for our tissue. Stretch just means we're getting new range of motion and building stability. And this is really good. This is how gymnasts can do such contortionist movements without getting injured, because they get built what they call liquid steel, which means they're more stable in the end range of motions than the average person, and so they don't incur injuries when they're doing extreme splits or stunts of that nature. So next we're going to do one that's very sensitive, so I want you to be very cognizant, aware, and careful with this. If you're on a hard surface, maybe switch to some kind of carpet or even a mat. But what we're going to do is we're going to flip our hands upside down, fingers facing forward, and put our wrist flat on the ground. And if you need to bend your elbows just a little bit to make it comfortable, that's perfectly fine. But what we're going to do is, again, we're going to move forward, and if you can only move a couple centimeters forward, like this much, before you feel the stretch, that's fine. Stay there, and after a few months, you can work further into it. But the whole point is stretching out the back side of our wrist now. Good, and then we're going to actually flip our fingers around the other way, and this is the most sensitive, so be very careful here. Again, just be aware of what your wrists are telling you. Listen to your body. If you need to pull your wrist in a little bit closer to your knees, that's perfectly acceptable as well. Good, and then to end this, we're going to come up, and I'll face you so you can see it. We're going to bring our wrists out in front of us. We're going to do some circles. Just really working out, and then we're going to reverse the circles, and we're just really working out all that tissue we just found new range of motion and stability in. And then to round it off, we're going to work on flicking our wrists down, flicking our wrists up, just quick motions, stable, functional, lots of range of motion. And that is the wrist mobility exercise video. So again, be careful with these movements. As always, the 10% outside your comfort zone is the goal. Don't push it any further of that, or you can risk injury. But if you don't get uncomfortable with some of these exercises, then you won't see any growth. And that's the most important part, outside of staying injury-free, is getting a little bit of growth. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and I hope you get some good use out of this exercise.